Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Tomby channel. And guess what? We are back. And also, guess what? It is finally the day that the War Within Blizzard expansion for World of Warcraft is released. It's going to be released in about 3 hours. Well, just under 3 hours now. And usually what happens is when you're logged in, Vordy, what? That was 10 minutes ago. No, as in, you'll see my pretty face, mate. You'll see my pretty face. So usually what happens when the expansions comes around, we're all logged in, usually in Orgrimmar, or Dalaran in this case, and all of a sudden the time will roll over 2300 and we'll all get a quest, and then in this big massive race, the server falls over 15 times. You fight over mobs for a good couple of hours. Ben! How you doing, bro? I've got the WoW hat on. I've got the WoW t-shirt on. Greg, are you playing? Are you going to be playing later? Because obviously the expansion's released in like 3 hours, mate. So, one of the things that I wanted to do is go through the cinematics, basically take you through the cinematics. They're obviously very close to my heart, very close to the wife's heart. Watched them many, many times, and ever since the first cinematic came around. Yeah, the servers are usually falling over within an hour, and 9 times out of 10 is usually people who found glitches to level quickly, and then it just all falls over after that. But myself and the wife absolutely love the cinematics, and ever since the first one, back in 2004 was the first time I saw the first cinematic. I've been gobsmacked at the quality of the WoW cinematics, and there's a few games that do cinematics justice. Blizzard's definitely one of them. You've also got the guys behind League of Legends. Some of theirs are absolutely phenomenal in terms of cinematics. So I actually thought, why not, before the expansion hits, we'll go through each of the cinematics. I'll point out some things, talk to you about some of the characters, notable characters in the cinematics, some of the information from my time playing during that expansion, and make this kind of like a series of things where we look at some of the big IPs in terms of games, have a look at the cinematics, see how they've changed over the years. But Vordy, hell yeah, beginning of Xpac is the time to make serious dollars. Yes, basically, go mine, go herb, go sell, and you'll make 1 million, 2 million gold on the first day. Easily. So Andy Matthews is completely shattered today. Someone has stolen my mojo. You can actually get bottled mojo in this game. Just go and grind on the trolls in Hinterlands. You can get bottled mojo. But bend over, good to see you, my friend. As Mandiaz, never play on update day. What did... Hold on, it's just gone off screen. What did happen to that? I always play on an update day. Always. Always. And normally I'm playing from, say, 2300. Tam normally starts flagging about 4 o'clock in the morning. So once the sun starts coming up, that's when Tam starts like, oh, I'm so tired. I send Tam to bed. Usually I jump onto a different character at that point and then start grinding materials and then selling them in the auction house. Druid's always best. It certainly is when you're going around herbing. It certainly is, especially considering you unlock the flying pretty quickly. Ah, well, that was fun. All right, let's check the audio. The audio, I'm back. Well, that was a pain in the dick. Oh, I think I'm rebuilding this PC over the weekend because it's getting a bit of a joke. Unfortunately, every now and again, it just decides to reboot on its own accord. So apologies, chat. We are back. Tracy, yeah, I've tended to wait a day or 3 after release due to bugs. 20 levels, 70s after this expansion with 480 or better gear. Yeah, I'm just I'm going to be grinding through all of the alts, Trace. It's not going to take long for all of those characters to have relatively reasonably good green gear in the expansions anyway, because it's usually the way it happens. There's not really much kept. By the time we get up to maximum level in this expansion, all of the 480 stuff is going to be gone anyway. But thank you very much indeed. Let me stick this on the old Tomby Subscribo. And let's put the banner on to there as well. Just so I've got it running. And let's get back into the game. Let's get back into the game. Got the new chipset drivers. I think there was a set on the August the 12th. Yeah, I've updated all of the drivers, but what I'm seeing is a kernel, basically a kernel panic. The kernel's just shitting the bed and falling over. So I'm just going to flap everything out. I'm just going to back everything up. I'm going to just clean down everything, Vordy, and just rebuild it. I'm even going to go as far as removing CPUs and pasting everything, just to make sure everything's okay. Cool beans. Right, audio, check. I'm going to also increase the in-game audio because I want you guys to appreciate the cinematics. And as Manias, yes, there's been cinematics ever since the get-go. Even for the original... there's been cinematics. Assistant... What? That should be on game. There we go. It's better. It's on the right channel now, so there's a start. Let's also increase the volume. Tracy, I do tend to send my healers through time walking. It makes, like, yeah. Time walking, definitely the way ahead. Definitely the way ahead. And in fact, everyone should send definitely their tanks and their healers through time walking, because it's easy. It's such an easy way to level. Deal breaker, me and my vape are here. Good evening, gents. How you doing, brother? It's good to see you, mate. It's good to see you. Right, okay. I just want to increase the volume. Filters. What have I limited it to? Let's put it up to... Let's put it up to there. Just give me some feedback. How loud is the game audio? I know I'm speaking louder than the game audio right now. Just let me know how loud it is in comparison. Am I completely deafening it out? Or is it loud enough that you can hear it properly? Because I don't... Every now and again, I'm going to gush over the cinematics. And I'm going to point out a few things. So I just want to make sure that you can hear the game. Yanni! Blow it. Yes. It does need a good blow. It does need a good blow, mate. It does need a good blow. A decent blow. Oh, cool. Happy days. Right. Okay, let's start off with where it all began. So, I'll tell you a story. 2004, I was with my first wife. My son had just been born, and we had just moved from down south, because I was in the armed forces at the time. Just moved from down south all the way up to Scotland. Now, thinking back on it, hindsight, it probably wasn't the wisest thing to move the young wife away from her her family and things. But obviously, we wanted to be close by, because with me being based up in Scotland, I would only be able to see the wife and the nipper, because the son was literally just born. It can be a little loud. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Let's drop it down. I'll sooner you give me some feedback, guys. That's perfect. So, with a less than 1 year old, let's drop it down. Let's drop it down to about there. With a less than 1 year old, moving up to fucking hell. What do you mean you can't hear over the music? I'm a good 20 decibels higher than it. Greg, sort your ears out. Alright, I'll drop it down to where it was before. Right, that is negative 30 dBs, and I'm up towards the negative 10, so That's a sizable jump. So let's do this. Let's do this. We don't really need the music anyway. So, deal breaker. Yeah, that's a good shout. So what we'll do, we'll drop the music down. And yeah, it should be fine now, Asmandiaz. You're 20 seconds behind me, mate. It should be fine now, because it's next to nothing. So me moving up to Scotland was a fucking bad move. The marriage fell apart within probably 3-4 months at that point. And with myself and the wife splitting up, she moved back down south. I found that this game was the one thing that kept me sane. So when I first saw the cinematic, it was kind of like the thing to distract me from everything else. And as a result, obviously, I took to this game really, really well. Now, at the time, I'd been playing things like Neverwinter Nights, various other Dungeons and Dragons related games. And for me, the movement in this, even as early as the alphas and the betas, was just something of a marvel for me. 3 dimensions, moving around in empty space, in a large open world, different characters, different classes, music, fighting, different ways of attacking things, different quest lines. I was hooked. Instantly, I was hooked. So for me, this game's got it certainly is a massive part, and has been a massive part of the life. Some 800 odd days spent in game over all that time. And the first thing that I was doing is basically leveling, power grinding, and then PvPing. So I used to enjoy beating the fuck out of each other, or beating the fuck out of other people. So there was some very few battlegrounds early on. So Warsong Gulch was one of the first battlegrounds, but certainly Arathi Basin, and later Alterac Valley, which was a more 40-man battleground. I was hooked. Now, later down the line, I was actually in quite a high-end raiding guild, and it was a raiding guild called Triari, and I joined them as a tank essentially, because I leveled as a warrior. You alright, Colin? How you doing? By the way, I saw the game trailers and footage for Indiana Jones and Dune. Both look great. Also liked the trailer for Dimensionals with Dimensional Heroes soundtrack. Loved it. Nice. Nice, good to see. Rick, how you doing, brother? How you doing, buddy? And Pete, Heretical Nerds in the house as well. So yeah, this became quite a healing thing for me, where I just lost time in the game, and it kept me sane. So let's experience what is essentially the first one. Teresa Brown over on Twitch, thank you very much indeed for the follow, my dude. I just need to open my windows again, because where the computer crashed, all my windows in. Luminosity, absolutely. Do you know what? Luminosity is the best thing to do when you're at work. Always drop the kids off at the pool when you're at work on work's time. It's the best use of it. How you doing, Lumi? It's good to see you. And the other thing I'm going to do, let me bounce into Discord as well, because I know Steel Leg is wanting to play the game, but unfortunately he didn't realize that the game's not released until another 3 hours. Yes. Thanks for me sharing. Yes. Thanks for sharing the poo. Yes. This thing was the size of a football. You need more fiber, man. Obviously, I'm assuming genders right now. But you need more fiber. Otherwise, it will come out like a baby's arm all the time. And that's probably not the best thing to do. It's probably not the best thing to do. Teresa, I'm all right. Thanks for asking. Good. Right, I'm just going to pop in. I'm going to stealthily pop into Steel Leg. I'm going to listen, just in case he's blabbering on. I can't hear him. Can't hear him. Yeah, Poseidon's kiss. The Poseidon's kiss. Yes, when it splashes back and calls you a ring after. Always amazing after you've had a curry or something really explosive. And your butthole is on fire. Literal fire. Is like a dragon's nostril. And there's nothing better than a little Poseidon's kiss. Comes out and just smooch. But Greg, I remember going from beta to launch. Our first cinematic was jaw-dropping.
Flash found, Gale found, Judah found.
I'm trying to figure out what he's doing, but as I'm going to be going through the cinematics for now, I'm going to jump out of the channel. I'm going to go into a different one. Yeah, it's Necro. Thank you very much indeed, Teresa. A good streaming setup. I've got my displays behind. I've got my cat. I've also got an Alliance cat that's just behind me as well. And I've also got the World of Warships. Fucking Jesus. World of Warcraft t-shirt on. Drinking tea. Out of Vaz. Drinking tea out of Vaz. Dragon's nostril. Yes, mate. So let's do it. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to do. I was going to reopen my Windows because it crashed. Restore. Okay. Let's get cracking. The first time I heard this, it was just like, I was gobsmacked. No luminosity, I've never done it. I'm pretty quick on the mute button, mate. As an old man, a dad, and a granddad, you learn to mute the mic before you break wind. I did, Teresa.
Passed since the mortal races banded together and stood united against the might of the burning legion.
I don't think I can pause this. No, that's pretty gay. So obviously, it starts off with the map and it's explaining some of the background. But yes, 10 years in the making from Warcraft 3 to this game. Overcoming obstacles within the game design, creating their own engines, everything in between. So I'll probably just talk over the important points and then go from there. Teresa, I use a combination of Canva, Photoshop, Premiere, and a few other things, buddy. Right, okay, let me restart this one. Unfortunately, I can't pause it, which is pretty gay, because it would have been so much easier to be able to pause it. So 10 years in the making. And what I'll do is I'll try and explain at the quiet points some of the characters, notable characters that you'll see in them, the types of races, the types of classes that you see.
Years have passed since the mortal races banded.
So you got Kalimdor and the Eastern Kingdoms, with the Maelstrom in the middle.
The burning legion. Though Azeroth was saved, the tenuous pact between the Horde and the Alliance has all but evaporated.
That's good, Teresa.
The drums of war thunder once again.
Yeah, I do all my panels and do the panels for all my friends as well. The music. I'm going to mute blurps for now, guys. I'm going to mute the blurps until in between. So here we got Ironforge. So this is the Dwarf Kingdom of Ironforge with a hunter. There's Pet Bear. That's Kiana Moonshadow. She's a night elf. So she's part of the Alliance. So she's a... You could argue that the Alliance is supposed to be goodies, but there's no real goodies or baddies in the game. But she's a druid. And like all good druids, they can shapeshift. Oh, mate. One of my favorite classes. Same as Tam, one of our favorite classes is the Warlock. Now, I tell you what, and I'll respond to you in a second, Dealbreaker. That Infernal, back in the original WoW, used to be a bastard. Because he used to break the mind control you had on him. And then he'd go rampant and start killing people. The Tauren. So he's Horde. So he's the other side of the coin to the Alliance. And the Orc Warrior. Also Horde. Tracy, the nostalgia is fucking amazing. So you got a human mage getting attacked by the Infernal. So the humans are on the Alliance side as well. Just look at this. Oh, mate! Mate, I've got fucking goosebumps. I got fucking goosebumps. After all these years, it's like literally 20 years. 20 years. I got literal goosebumps. $20 years. Now the first expansion that came out was the Burning Crusade, which is the one we're going to watch next. And Burning Crusade came out November 2008. So it was literally just before my birthday when it came out. And back then, because the seriousness of a kind of like a server upgrades and things like that, they actually took the game offline for a week. Everyone was happy with it because we all obviously knew that this had to happen, but they took the game down for a week. I mean, this is the thing. What we should do is vote on or give it a score 0 to 10 for each one. So what I might do is towards the end, just do a kind of like, okay, which one did you think was the best kind of thing? Now, obviously, I've got my favorites. And whilst the original one, I do think is one of the top 3, I don't think it's the best. Now, we will come across the best, but the only reason I didn't want to look at them on YouTube, Dealbreaker, was the 4K aspect. Because if I watch them this way, they're actually 4K. If I watch them... Oh, mind you saying that, I could do, I suppose. Just wonder if I can... Well, trailers, 4K. And then I'll be able to pause them, I guess, yeah.
Assuming control.
Let's see. Okay, sure. Let me pump this up to 4K. Right. Okay, let's stop the game. And I'm going to share my desktop. And we'll go via the YouTube route, because it may actually do us better. Right, okay. Let me make sure the browser's coming out. Too loud. Let's put a filter on that. Let's limit it as again. Let's drop that right down. That'll do. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. No takes. How you doing, brother? Dealbreaker, they seem to drop special loot crates at the minute. Do you know something about that? Interesting. Possibly the best game intro cinematic ever. Historic, yes. One of the better expansions, which gave fine. So, Burning Crusade, 2008, and I think it was November the 13th, because it was just before my birthday. I remember that much. The game hit. My God, there were queues everywhere getting hold of the games. Now, I collect all of the collector's editions. I should have fucking brought them up, really, shouldn't I? Because I do have the original vanilla Burning Crusade, Wrath, and everything else in collector's editions. Now, that original vanilla collector's edition is worth its weight in fucking gold now. Absolutely worth its weight in gold. Yeah, some streams on Twitch give drops. Give drops for what? World of Warcraft. I mean, I'd be surprised if they didn't. Twitch drops World of Warcraft today. Support a streamer and get a hatchling. Log into your Twitches. Yeah, so if you watch this later on, you could earn yourself a item. Yeah, you can do. Intended for mature audiences. Yes. We don't need Why is it saying I'm playing Baldur's Gate? I updated this yesterday. What? Oh, fuck my life. I bet Kick's saying it as well. If that's the case, Kick and fucking... It fucking does as well. The shit. Oh, 2 seconds, guys. This is pissing me off. So I just need to go into Kick and Twitch and update the titles, even though I did it like 4 hours ago. Dear. The life of a small content creator or streamer. Blech. Wouldn't surprise me if Rumble's saying freaking something wrong as well. Right, okay. All cinematics, reaction, edit. There we go. World of Warcraft. That is Kick updated. And let's go into Twitch. Let's go to Twitch. Update that. And let's go World of Warcraft. Let's update that as well. 107,000 people currently watching World of Warcraft streams. Can get 1,500 Starcrom from those. Check the shop events field guides. Nice. Yeah, some streams on Twitch giving drops. Do you know what I thought was weird as well? Twitch has just started with collaborations and you can kind of like join in with other streamers. I think it's well weird. Yes, Colin. I'm just going to tip it down. I do have tea in there, and that's why I'm using my big cup. That's why I'm using the big cup, because it stays hot for ages. Okay, let me throw up, because you're going to want to see this screen. And I also need to put it on the vertical as well. And let's edit it on the vertical. Need to shrink it down because you ain't going to see it. So anybody that's been on my channel before, you know that I do both a vertical and a horizontal stream at the same time. Kind of like give people what they want on a... If you wanted to, say, lurk, you can just watch the vertical stream on the mobile. You'll get all the same results. Kadaf, I drank so much tea last night, I was awake until 2 a.m. That's me every day. Mind you saying that, I was playing Baldur's Gate 3 with Dominique until 2 in the morning. And then I couldn't get to sleep afterwards. Right, okay. Burning Crusade. Let's make sure we're at 4K. We are at 4K resolution. Apparently this has been upsampled from someone. But ultimately, we're just going to run through it. So that was the end of the first one. Now, when we watched this cinematic for the first time, we were like, holy shit.
Imprisoned for 10,000 years.
Cheers, Emma. Following over on Kick.
Banished from my own homeland.
How you doing, mate? All good, thank you.
And now you dare enter my realm.
So that's the dark portal.
You are not prepared.
So that's the dark portal that takes you from basically Azeroth, which was the starting place in the original vanilla, to Outlands. Now this guy is a space goat, also known as a Draenei. He's a Draenei paladin. I think that's Marud. And it was the first time they introduced paladins to the Horde. And likewise, shamans to the Alliance. And also, this is a blood elf. We never had elves on the Horde side. So again, they made blood elves. It was a special race. Sucking the life out of Man of Worm. Nice. I can still remember that racial as well. They got rid of it. Quick backhander. So she starts resurrecting. That's why you can see him coming up. And the Warlock. And the Murlocs. Now, where's my pause button? Where's my pause button? Now, the Murlocs. The funny thing with the Murlocs is that almost every fucking player hated them. But I loved them. I love the Murlocs. I think they're great. They're so retarded. And it's just the noise that they make. As they're running around under bridges and God knows what. Down on Westfall on the beaches. Yes. I am from the UK, Emma. Thank you very much indeed for asking. Michelle Clark. It just pops. Yes. It did. Vordi. The thing is that obviously we were all gathered in Blasted Lands. And the gate, essentially, it opened, and it was a massive rush into Outlands at that point. You control the vertical, you control the horizontal. You have entered the Tombi Zone. Indeed. Oh, Murky the Murloc, yeah. But as soon as you come into Outlands, Tam really struggled with Outlands. She really did struggle with Outlands because it was too red and orange for her. She started getting massive migraines. Emma, I stream on YouTube, Rumble, Kick, Twitter, and Twitch. My biggest platform is YouTube. At the minute, the rest of the platforms are just on the slow burn, so I'm not out to race to build them too quickly. So thank you very much indeed. So yeah, I mean, the headaches Tam used to get, so I had to dial down a lot of the colors for the first zone for Tam to be able to play it. And it was actually the first proper expansion that I managed to get Tam to play. So tail end of vanilla, just before the TBC really started kicking off, I managed to get Tam interested in playing. So with the laptop I had, I said, right, try playing World of Warcraft. And it did take her quite some time to get out of a door. So she did do a Gary, pure boom at it. But yeah, she was like a duck to water, really took to it really quickly. And me and Tam played constantly, all the time. Vordi, who's in chat, we met Vordi in Wrath of the Lich King expansion through a guild that I joined. They were looking specifically for a shaman. To help them with, what was it? It might have been Warlords of Draenor, actually, Vord. Thinking about it, because it was Siege of Orgrimmar, I think. I think it was Siege of Orgrimmar that me and Zetna joined the guild. In fact, yeah, it was. So that's a later expansion. So let's wrap up this expansion. Let's wrap up this one. Because this bit, in terms of the cinematic, was fantastic. I'm just going to go back slightly. The Warlock still was my favorite character, even in this expansion, PvP wise, because that's what he's wearing. He's wearing a player versus player outfit. They were strong as anything. They were so good. They were so good. So this guy was the main protagonist, Illidan Stormrage. And incidentally, he is just up there in a resin statue.
You are not prepared.
Fucking goosebumps again. Fucking goosebumps again. So I've got Illidan Stormrage, I've got Thrall, I've got Wrath of the Lich King helmet, Tam's got Sylvanas, she's also got Alexstrasza downstairs. Okay, the next expansion. So in terms of scores, I put, at the minute, I would say the vanilla one, 8.5. The Burning Crusade one, 7.5. So think of your own scores, what you would give them. And the main reason why I think that the Burning Crusade one wasn't as good as the first, I found it very kind of, I wouldn't necessarily say clunky is the right word, but certainly not as fluid as the first one. The first one was so cinematic in terms of how it built up in its flow and things like that, whereas the second one was more disjointed, bouncing from one element to another element to another element. But ultimately, it was good. Emma, I'm fine, thank you. I don't need any help at the minute because I do all my own artwork. I do all my own stuff, so I'm all good. Kick, Rumble, Twitch, I'm all okay. Thank you very much indeed. Michelle, hello, Bendover. Myers joined us over on Kick as well. Rick, Yanni, it overstimulates the optic nerve and screws with the brain. Like bright lights make you sneeze because the optic nerve and olfactory are close together. And overstimulation affects the other. No, thank you, Emma. I'm all good. I'm all good. Oh, in fact, tell a lie. I got my dates wrong. So 2007 was the Burning Crusade, I think. Trace, 2007 was a Burning Crusade, and 2008 was Wrath of the Lich King. I think it was January 2007 for Burning Crusade. Wrath was November. That feels a bit better. But, okay, Wrath of the Lich King was the introduction of the Death Knights. And in particular, obviously, the main protagonist being the Lich King for the expansion. And the Lich King has the ability basically to transform the living into the dead and create Death Knights. So it was the first time they introduced what was called a hero class. And providing that you had already leveled a character up to level 60, which was the maximum back in the day, and then obviously 70 for the Burning Crusade. As long as you had a level 60, you could create a Death Knight, and the Death Knight would start at level 55. So you would only need to go 15 item levels to get up to max level at the time. So Tracy, my expansion, so to speak, getting Frostfire Bolt itself felt so good. Felt so cool and accomplishing. Yep. Tomby Smoobies got hard after that one. Just wait until this one, mate. This is where Tomby's Smoobies like cut glass. Yeah, I think it was November for Wrath, and I think it was January for because it was almost 18 months to the day between TBC. Because I thought it was quick for the jump between TBC and Wrath of the Lich King. It was very, very fast. It was very, very fast. But let's get into it. Let's watch. I'm almost tempted to increase the volume of the music because this one is fucking phenomenal.
My son, the day you were born, the very forests of Lordaeron whispered the name Arthas.
Just listen in, guys. This is fucking... I have got goosebumps. And the other thing as well, I know this is obviously heavily rendered cinema graphics, computer-generated graphics, but look, bearing in mind this is 2008, and Disney doesn't know its arsehole from its elbow. Look at the detail in the hair. Just the hair works were fantastic. And if you ever get the chance, listen to this by an orchestra. There are videos on YouTube. Watch this done by an orchestra. It's just psych out.
My child, I watched with...
Right, okay, so Lich King has essentially two main weapons, Shadowmourne and Frostmourne. Frostmourne is his sword, which he's just about to get out. He's just about to get his massive chopper out. I've actually got a replica of this downstairs. I've got a replica of both, but I've got a replica of this downstairs. I need to bring it upstairs and put it on the wall behind me, but it'll probably pull the bloody wall down. The boy Alto does a beautiful job, yes. Why don't they make a movie like that? Now, they did make a Warcraft movie, but it was based on kind of like the earlier games. And we were hoping that the Warcraft movie would be based on World of Warcraft. Simply because that's what we were all playing at the time, but it was based on the original games. Now, it's not a bad movie, but the problem is it didn't make hardly any money, and it almost bankrupted the company that made it. And unfortunately, Travis Bicknell, who played one of the main characters, basically played Ragnar Lothbrok all the way through it. So I couldn't differentiate him from the character. I did like Khadgar in that movie. Khadgar casts a very specific spell in it, and my good God, the explosion in the spell. I wonder if I can bring it up. Let's do that. Khadgar spell cast Warcraft movie. Brr, 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 brr. And I actually thought it was a bit of a shame because the actual casting of the spell, was phenomenal. I just wish it was bigger and longer. So this is essentially Warcraft the movie. This guy is Khadgar. He is a mage. He is a good guy, and he's always been a good guy. And he was currently fighting Medivh, who had essentially sided with the bad guys in the Burning Crusade. So the green stuff is Fel, and think of it kind of like an infection of bad energies and things like that. Makes you completely evil as fuck. It turns you into a demon. So Medivh is a demon at this point. Khadgar's trying to rescue everything and save the situation. So there's Ragnar Lothbrok. So Khadgar's fighting the inner demons. So he's protecting his friend.
You're stronger than he is.
Like this, Daily. This big. Yes, Sargeras.
From light comes darkness. And from darkness, light.
I mean, it was a massive fucking explosion, but it was just literally over in seconds. It was just over too quick. Oh, there's Steel Leg. Muck Stabby Peg. Steel Leg's probably thinking, oh, look at me. So I'd actually created his banner up the top for his peggers and a few other things. So he's now got Botrix running. Right, anyway, let's go back to our cinematics. So yeah, that kind of like spell that he created, I just wish the film had made that bigger. But they didn't make one over about World of Warcraft, sadly. I wish they would. I wish they would, because there's certainly plenty of content. Right, okay. Gonna go slightly back. So he's just about to whip out his massive chopper, guys. Bandicam sounds so wrong. Yeah, I use Bandicam. I use a load of other things as well, but Bandicam, Bandicut.
My child, I watched with pride as you grew into a weapon of righteousness.
Actually, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be right back. 1 minute. So when I stick up this screen, there is a battle royale. If you type in 'join, you'll join the battle, and then you'll fight it out. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Well, congratulations, Yanni, on literally beating the fuck out of everybody. Holy shit. Greg fucking joined the game like 25 seconds into the fight like a fucking pussy. And Yanni still beats him. Right, the reason why I wanted to disappear off is to go get this. Oh, mate. It's heavy as a bastard. So this is Frostmourne. He's a bit of a weighty bastard. I would have bought Shadowmourne up, but it's too fucking heavy. It's too heavy. So yes. Oh, I'm tempted to eat pizza. I would be tempted to eat pizza. But yes. Oh, the mighty chopper. I thought I'd get that. I thought I'd bring it up and show you. Live in the flesh. All right, stay. Stay. Do not fall over, because that would fucking make a mess. Right, let's get cracking. So that's his sword right there.
Remember, our line has always ruled
Goosebumps.
and strength. And I know
Phenomenal.
you will show restraint when exercising your great power.
Yep. So that's Syndragosa.
But the truest victory,
Oh,
my son,
mate.
is stirring the hearts of your people.
Saranite bombs.
I tell
Fucking
you,
Jesus.
for when my days have come to an end, you shall be king.
Mate. Okay, so needless to say, this is one of my favorites. This is definitely hits 9, simply because of the flow was very much like the vanilla flow. So very straightforward. You didn't confuse too much. There was nothing really to focus on outside of introducing the Lich King into the original game. Now, this also introduced a completely new continent in Azeroth. So we were eventually able to get to Northrend, which is where Lich King was. So this introduced all of that. Really did introduce all of that. They all stole from each other, Rick. I've said this before. There's no original thought anymore. And someone got really upset the other day in chat because I suggested that there was no original thought. Because you all take inspiration from other things. It's heavily inspired from Lord of the Rings to the original Warcrafts to other games. Natty McBatty. Tomby, actually, I came to tell you that Steel Leg is unable to get technology to work again. Wants your help. You can just pretend you didn't see this message. But this looks awesome. I'm not going to be stopping doing what I'm doing. Because I want to do this. I want to do this. Is Azeroth Sephiroth's brother? No, Azeroth is a girl. Okay. So now we move on to Cataclysm, which came a couple of years after. So we had Wrath of the Lich King was such a good expansion. And right at the end of Wrath of the Lich King, they kind of like turned so many different abilities and classes on their head, and it was a bit of a letdown. Cataclysm was December 2010, so 2 years and a month after the Wrath of the Lich King. And again, its goal was to kind of reinvigorate, bring new stuff to the game. So Vordy is 100% correct. Sadly, it wasn't the best expansion. It was nowhere the best expansion. We got such content drought through this expansion, we thought it would never end.
Pain. Agony. My hatred burns through the cavernous deeps.
Deathwing, the main protagonist in this expansion. And yes, they are welding hot metal armor to him, to his skin. I mean, look at that tidal wave. So, Cataclysm, as you can expect, massive damage throughout the world. And it actually split and broke quite a lot of the different areas. The cities got rebuilt, areas completely flooded. So that area with all the water was Thousand Needles, which used to be columns of rock. And it was basically a desert, columns of rock, completely filled with water now. I mean, fuck, imagine being so hot, you're just igniting everything.
But at last, the whole of Azeroth will break.
Yeah, Deathwing was a bit of a dick.
And all will burn beneath the
Now, I did take great pleasure in eventually killing him. But he was a bit of a dick. So in terms of the cinematic, 6.5, wasn't anything too impressive. Deathwing, yeah, introduction to Deathwing. Yes, he's a big bastard and he sets fire to everything and breaks the world. The end. Right, Mr. Pandaria. Let me pause this. So, Mr. Pandaria. In a minute, chat. Yeah, the boss fight was weird in it. So, you had to migrate through, over his back and all sorts, different platforms. Different kind of like pustules erupting from his back. And then he rolls over to the left, rolls like... He's flying in the air and you're fucking beating the shit out of him. But it was weird. It was very weird. So this expansion came about 2012. Yeah, because this was 2 years later as well. 2012. And I'm gonna reserve judgment until everybody starts watching it. But I can almost guarantee what everyone's going to say this game looks like. And it's going to be Disney-fied. So, how many swords have you got in your collection? Do you have He-Man's sword or the swords from Game of Thrones? No, I've literally got that sword from World of Warcraft and I've got the axe from World of Warcraft. The Lich King stuff. I haven't got any other swords. I did buy my son Aragorn's sword from Lord of the Rings, though. That's pretty. That's a pretty sword. So let's look at Mists
why we fight
of Pandaria.
is to ask why the leaves fall. It is in their nature.
So the Alliance and the Horde are beating the fuck out of each other.
Perhaps there is a better question.
Again. And it's also introduced the new continent or the new island of Pandaria. Listen to the music and instantly you can think of a certain Disney film. Mr. Pandaria wasn't bad, Tracy. It wasn't bad, but they Disney-fied it. And some say they Disney-fied it a little too much. I mean, the expansion was okay. I mean, we didn't have a problem. And of course, it introduced the Mythic Pluses as well, or the challenge modes. It was the first one that introduced that, so it was a new way of playing the dungeons. Harder and harder difficulties, faster and faster time. So the level cap for this expansion was level 90. And my good God, they had to do some squishing after this expansion because the damage we were doing by the end of it was just stupid. Oh no, what was that? Kung Fu Panda! It is basically Kung Fu Panda now. I know what they were trying to do. They were trying to just improve it. But it was just too comedic. And I'm thinking, you're talking about a game which is a world at war, two factions, constantly fighting. Sometimes the comedy value just doesn't fit. The one thing I do like about this trailer is the fact that if you look at the color change, the color palette instantly changes once the mist is gone. So it starts off really grey, heavily grey filtered. Peach leaves.
To protect home
Master Ugwe.
and family.
to preserve balance and bring harmony. For my kind, the true question is, what is worth fighting for?
Beer. Yeah, and this is the thing, Yanni, it was a shift in the feel. It became very, very comedic in terms of the trailer. Really, really comedic. Now, the actual expansion, there was nothing really wrong with the expansion. The dungeons, the raids, the class balances after the complete destruction of most classes at the end of Wrath of the Lich King and into Cataclysm, because Cataclysm just fucked everything. The big green troll guy was in the movie. The color was the best part after the other Xpacs, yep. And I think it was Mr. Pandaria that introduced, or it might have been Warlords of Draenor actually, that introduced one of the first biggest changes to the kind of like the game engine. So there's been quite a few changes to the game engine over the years, and especially going from kind of like single-threaded to multi-threaded and performance upgrades and God knows what. Cup of tea. Always got a shag. Cup of tea. This one's almost dead. I need to send the wife an email and say, can I have a cup of tea? I might just... Do you reckon I can just eat a cup of tea? I wonder. That'd be interesting. Right, okay, so Warlords of Draenor again released 6 years after Wrath. So basically the same day, November the 13th, thereabouts, 2014. Drunken Panda, Hidden Prophet. It also introduced green fire to the Warlocks. Yes, it did. So, November the 13th, 2014, Warlords of Draenor. Now, this is where some of the confusion came in, because Warlords of Draenor was essentially Outlands again, for want of a better word. So, lots of the same areas, but they were ever so slightly different. Slight different item, kind of like zone changes were ever so subtly different. Wouldn't that be just drink, though? Could be. I do have a nice bottle of Dandelion and Burdock downstairs. So, I wonder if they've got the latest expansion. No, they don't. Okay. Cool. Wars of Draenor. Let's have a look. They did have some good ideas in this. And the raids were fucking phenomenal. The raids in this, I would actually say the raids in this expansion took us back to Wrath of the Lich King raids and certainly Burning Crusade raids. They also introduced garrisons, which were supposed to be a kind of like an ability to create your own house and have people visit you, but it didn't quite come off like that. But garrisons were kind of like created as part of this expansion. So more fell. So this is all about the orcs taking on the fell. Gul'dan.
Must we give in return?
Everything.
Everything.
Bah! Fuck your Gul'dan. Manaroth. Was it Manaroth? Tracy Reeves be back in 10 to 15 minutes. Look at the size of this bastard. Mongrels. I think I should get into voice acting. Brr. Orcas kind of jerks too. Excuse me, having a schism. Yeah, you're right. You could actually get that as a trinket. That little wheel used to be a trinket. I mean, look at this. Boomf. Door howl. Straight in his head.
This was not our destiny. Times change.
Just love the size of everything. We will never be slaves.
We will never be slaves.
So yeah, at that point, it was a case of the
We will be conquerors.
going through the new dark portal that they created. So I actually enjoyed the cinematic, and I know a lot of people didn't like the expansion, but I didn't mind it. It's a 7.5 on a cinematic. Right, okay, this is Legion,
Has returned to our world.
and it's actually quite important. Legion was the start of quite a lot that you see in the later expansions.
It seeks to annihilate everything that
So that's
we
King
hold dear.
Rin of Stormwind,
Go to face it.
and his son is
I
Anduin,
may not return.
who I will mention time and time again. And Anduin plays a very important part in World of Warcraft from this point onwards. You also get to see Sylvanas Windrunner, who used to be an elf, but was transformed into the Banshee Queen by
All
the
my life
Lich
I
King.
have lived by the sword. I've seen kingdoms burn and watched brave heroes die in vain.
So this was 2016 when this came out.
For me to trust.
August
losing
2016. And there's the Horde with Sylvanas. And Sylvanas is a
But from you,
bitch.
I have
She's
learned
awesome.
patience, tolerance,
She's awesome.
and faith.
So yeah, Night Elf transformed into an undead by the Lich King. Not in a good way. And this was all about fighting back the Legion again. So more fell.
Open fire!
Smooth. Basically because I know them all off the top of my head, mate. Once you've been through them once. There comes the Infernals back. How you doing, brother? LD! It's good to see you, mate. And yes, seeing us live. The Banshee Queen. Yeah, so that was the first statue I bought for Tam was Sylvanas. So she's got a 26-inch resin model. That is fantastic. Really is good. And I actually enjoyed this cinematic as well. And it's the music it's the music that really does it for me. Tell the story through the music, and they tie it together so well. But it's good to see you, LD. It's good to see you, brother.
Anduin, I now believe, as you do, that peace is the noblest aspiration.
He's gonna drown!
But to preserve it, you must be willing to fight.
Yes. We'll come to that, LD. Mate, this expansion was... I really enjoyed Legion. Really did enjoy Legion. Because it was one of the first opportunities they really came together, both the Horde and the Alliance. And it became more about Azeroth and protecting Azeroth. And I think Vordi... I think we were just starting to really hammer more of the mythic raids at this point. And I think Legion, I took over the raid. I think I took over the guild from Noodle at that point. Yes. It is. It does feel like this was when I took over the guild. So the chap that used to run the guild, Noodle, he had to step away because of work and a few things, and he was getting burnt out. So I took over the guild, took over the raid leading responsibilities, pretty much for Legion onwards. There were good times. There were good times. In fact, did I also do it in Warlords of Draenor? I think I did it in Warlords of Draenor as well. Yes, I did. Yeah, late Legion, he probably stepped back. But I think I was raid leading in Warlords of Draenor. Between me... I can't remember who the young lad was that we were raiding with at the time. Oh, fuck knows. Okay, after Legion, they were a job, and this is the thing. So Mythic Raiding, guys, was the highest tier of PvE, so player versus the environment in the game, and it was the most technical and difficult content you could find. So myself... I asserted my superiority and claimed your rightful place as king. Yes, I was King Tombi. I was King Tombi. So I would have to set up the groups, set up the teams, establish the tactics, call out the instructions as we were fighting the bosses. And I do believe, if I log in, 2 seconds, let me do it on a different screen for a second. Let me log into, because I do have some videos back from those days on my original YouTube channel. Content. Epi-Union versus hit with copyright. Well, there's a surprise. So this was years ago. This was years ago. All right, 2 seconds. The wife has come to rescue me with a cup of tea. Okay, so this was a Renfell. I can't remember the bloody raid we were doing at the time. Fuck. It's been too long. It's been too long. But let's just expand. So I was playing my shaman at the time, and I think I was DPSing as a shaman. Group of 20 people. All of the icons that you'd see, the instructions, I would have to sort all that out. Guide the guys through the fight completely. Fighting the boss, moving the positions, doing whatever you need to do. Now, obviously, it gets quite chaotic at times. Venomous pulls, moving away. I was calling out all of this shit. All of the movements, everything in between, and coordinating. And yes, Tombi King. And then we get towards the end. And this was the first time. And I think it was the last pull of the night as well. It was the last pull of the night. Boss dead. Give some DKP to everyone. So 300 DKP points. Yeah. Back in the day, eh? Back in the day. Right. Let's get on with the cinematics. Right. So Battle for Azeroth. So again, this is more Sylvanas trying to take charge. Sylvanas taking charge of the Horde and going against the Alliance. So basically, yeah. You got the Alliance, you got the Horde back at odds with each other. Anduin's a little bit older, a little bit more rugged. Lordaeron. Listen.
Ours is a cycle of hatred.
I love her voice.
Alliances forged and broken.
I absolutely love her voice.
We have paid the price for sharing this world.
So that's Sylvanas.
And we
Sylvanas
have forgotten
Windrunner.
what makes us strong.
There's a specific part of this trailer that, when it gets to it, I'll say. Now at BlizzCon, when this was playing, so BlizzCon, they always watch these trailers as part of kind of like the conference. And when this specific scene happened, oh my good God, yeah, Laura Bailey, the whole place erupted. The whole place erupted. I was young. I mean, Christ, I've got videos on that other channel of back in Wrath of the Lich King. Of back when I was in a guild called the Fighting Rantalians. And if you know what a Rantalian is, good job. Good job. Yeah, Laura Bailey. Oh, mate.
Close ranks. Advance has won. Lordaeron will be ours.
Greymane.
My king, we have her.
So this is Anduin now. So Anduin is king, because obviously Rin no longer on the planet. Oh, mate, sultry. Look at it. It's just the subtle emotions you see in their face. Southang. Your arrows don't do shit. That part of the scene is coming up, guys. Mate, she is fucking badass. That there is like the stone cold Steve Austin pop in terms of BlizzCon and when this trailer first came out. And I'm actually going to bring it up. Getting emotional, guys. Getting emotional. YouTubeisms. Let's go to YouTube and let's go to BlizzCon. BFA. Which one's a good one? This one.
Normally we would announce the expansion, show the logo, and
skip. Right, okay. About, as you can see, there's a massive lump here. I wonder why. Listen. Crowd goes nuts. I fucking love it. Fucking love it. It's getting a bit skippy. Right, there we go. Zappy Boy! He got nicknamed Zappy Boy because obviously he was a shaman zapping everybody. And he's a troll. And the other thing to say, obviously, the Horde have just had their moment. Sylvanas basically wrecked a fucking siege machine, bansheed up, killed a load of people for the Horde. It's only fair that the Alliance get their moments as well. B.A. Baraka say Grizzle. Zappy boy. Now, it's important to know that Anduin is actually a healer class. And that's Charlemagne, the weapon. I mean, look how fucking cool that is. It's like, holy fuck. Look at the detail in the face. And this is where... Where's my fucking mouse? This is where you really start to see some of the detail in the faces really start to grow. Even to the previous expansion cinematic, you look at Rin's face, and yeah, you can tell he's human, but it doesn't have all of the range of emotions. When you get to this cinematic and you're seeing this, where you can see blemishes, hair, cheeks, everything in between really coming to life, tears, mass res. Yeah, so the thing is the mass res. So Anduin is casting a mass resurrection spell, so he's bringing his team all back to life. I mean, look at this image. To see this from the Horde perspective, it's like, holy fuck. So he's just brought everybody back to life. They actually removed our ability a couple of expansions later. We were well pissed because when you go into a raid and you're fighting bosses and things like that, if you wipe and everyone's dead, ideally one person kind of like survives, pops, and then mass reses everybody else. Because then we don't have to all run fucking back to the boss. So yeah, it was the mass res that they eventually removed, bastards.
Stand!
But yeah, Charlemagne, it was such a good weapon as well.
For the Alliance!
So there is the For the Alliance. So that's the Alliance pop. So I think it's only fair if I show you how that went at BlizzCon as well. I should have left it up. BlizzCon BFA. I should have left it up, really. Right, okay. Let's get to there. Not as big as pop as the Horde, but certainly a pop all the same. Certainly a pop all the same. It's the smile. It's the wry smile she gives. And this bit here. Mate, that was fucking great. Now that is definitely an 8 for me in terms of the cinematic. Now BFA as the game kind of dragged on a bit, but the expansion wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad. Which one was this? I want to focus solely on. I want to focus solely on the game cinematics. I don't want to go into mini trailers in between. So let's do, seen as BFA, let's do Shadowlands cinematic. So Shadowlands was the next expansion, and that came out November 2020. So this was 4 years ago. So we'll go into this one. Let's go 1080 penis. So you'll recognize some of the scenarios or some of the people in this one. So Sylvanas is pressing more and more in charge of the Horde. More and more basically getting, on the surface, getting eviler and eviler. This is Wrath of the Lich King. Ice Crown. So this is where, obviously, the Wrath of the Lich King was. And technically he got defeated and someone else was in his place. And the lovely wife has brought me a nice cup of tea. Thank you. Oh, yes. Thank you very much indeed, Whiffle. Okay, so Sylvanas is approaching Ice Crown Citadel where the Bolvar is in place as the Lich King. So, as part of the story goes, Lich King gone, Bolvar in his place. But also notice the quality of the trailers improving all the time in terms of its graphics. Let's get rid of the subtitles.
Where a usurper sits on a frozen throne.
David Vers, that was too rich for me, but I did love the lore dumps.
But no king rules forever.
Yes. Oh boy, the one-shot cosmic villain that no one has ever heard of. Yes. Yeah. Is the Rumble chat still working? Colin, yes. Yeah. Did I miss something, Colin? A Rantalion is a ball bag, by the way. It's a ball bag. It's a hairy pair of testicles. Again, wry smile. You have to look at the subtle emotional changes. Yep. Misty! It's just the swings. Oh, mate. Yeah, this was one of the first real changes, you see it. It was BFA started it, they then carried it on into this one, Trace. The capability is just constant. Oh, it's fantastic. The way she yanks this, it's like, fuck you. The size of that rock. Ice. No word of a lie, if you watch the BlizzCon of this, you get an obscene pop when she does what she does. Oh, it's mental. Always worth watching.
Are unfit to wear this crown.
Mate, look at his face! Darth Vader! And of course he loses the power and he turns back to red.
To wield.
You're right, Ickly Pickly.
So much power.
That power will be your prison.
And this was the twist.
This world is a prison.
So we all thought she was going to put the fucking helmet on. We all thought at this point she's going to put it on. It's like, what the fuck? And then she banshees up. It's like, what the fuck is this shit? fucking obscene. Absolutely obscene.
And I will set us all free.
So the expansion was all about a jailer who's on the other side, who's basically trapping everybody. And that was what the expansion was. Now, obviously, Sylvanas goes fucking doodily bonk quite considerably for it. She goes a bit fucking mental. Right, the next expansion is Dragon Flight. We're almost done, guys. We're almost done. Dragon Flight Cinematic. So Dragon Flight, the most recent expansion. We're technically last day of it today. 2022, this one came out December. Was it December or was it November? I want to say November. Yeah, no, you're all good, Colin. Chat is all coming through. Baba. Now I don't normally suffer from emotion.
The world has been sundered.
Very rarely I suffer from emotion. Now there's a couple of cinematics where I do get emotional. This is another one of them. And in a weird way as well.
We entrust our ancestral home to you, the Watchers.
So this is at Valdraken. In fact, no, is this at Tears? So this is all Dragon Isles. Give us some nice chockies. She'll mellow out. Yeah.
Hidden, even from our own eyes.
So they hid.
You will feel our return in the waking of the land. Then
they hid the Dragon Isles away. Yes, Tearhold.
Lest the path home be lost to us forever.
So basically, they're waiting for the dragons to return in order to light basically bring the beacon back on. So 10,000 years has passed. He looks a bit fucking worse for wear. He's looking a bit worse for wear. The light. They are returning. Oh no. He dead. That's the problem with 10,000 years, guys. That's the problem with 10,000 years. Especially next to the sea, crashing rocks and water's gonna wear you out eventually. So this is the last of the Watchers. He's essentially the last one left of his kind. Yep, time for a nap. Smoo, I'll actually say the cinematics are still god tier. They are still god tier. And arguably, I don't think they've never been anything other than god tier. He dead. He's on a mission. Yes, 100%. It ain't working. Oh no! What do I do? The determined look. I mean, fucking Jesus. Climbing that, and you can see the cracks forming in his fingers and his arms. It's like, fucking Jesus Christ. This guy's on borrowed time. And I do feel sorry for him. Warcraft 3 cinematics. Yep. Did you say it was time for you to have another nap? Yeah, you can have an hour if you want, Ickle. Yep. Hanky time. It's this bit. Mate, I felt this. It's the fact that he turns on the beacon. And he just accepts his fate. Oh, hello, Cosmo. 2 seconds, guys. Cosmo came in to save me. Wait, Chaos Kitty. Where are you? Hey, Cosmo. You want to say hello to everybody? Oh, Cosmo. Say hi, boys. Right, let's get you out. Let's get you out. Come on in. There you go, Cosmo. I know. Little shit. Little bugger. Little bugger. Right, okay, so, yeah. Just in the process of him falling, you can see that he is accepting his fate, and he's achieved his mission. I mean, his goal was simply to ignite the tower, or bring the crystal together back in Tyr's hold. And then, obviously, that lights the beacon and the dragons can return. So he's kind of accepted his fate at that point. The dragon is Alex Strasser. And Tam has that statue. The humanoid version of Alex Strasser. The dragons return. Fucking amazing. Now, granted, this expansion wasn't the greatest, but we get to turn into dragons and fly around.
Fate is yet uncertain.
It's like How to Train Your Dragon 5.
Together, we shall be Azeroth's protectors once again.
That's Val Draken.
The new age of dragons shall begin.
Did he like the grail-shaped beacon? Yes. Okay, we're going to bounce into the cinematic. The last cinematic of today. The last cinematic of today. This is the cinematic for the World War Within, which is obviously out in 1 hour and 10 minutes, or 1 hour and 9 minutes. And for those people that haven't seen this, the realism in this, in terms of graphical capability, is not just God tier, it's gone way beyond God tier. Way beyond. Yeah, Colin, probably, mate. Probably. Countdown for the last hour. Indeed, mate. Countdown for the last hour. Right, okay, so we are going to go the War Within. We're going to do the War Within.
We stayed away.
Shut up. Go back to the start. And I am going to pump the numbers up to 4K. The detail in this is unreal. The fact that you can see the sand, the hair, the blemishes, the fucking beard. So this is Anduin. So this comes back to Anduin, Charlemagne. You can see the damage in the sword. Imperfections, the tarnishing. Fucking eyes, man. Computer generated. This is beyond God tier. I've never seen a trailer better than this. Never. So this is Thrall, one of the previous leaders of the Horde, and he's a very important character. And he's stood up there, actually.
To hide. Is that it?
You needed time. We stayed away.
Pores in the skin.
Time, by itself heals nothing.
Fucking crazy. But Thrall's getting older.
You didn't just come here for me.
Wind in his hair.
Visions. You've seen them.
I suspect many have lately. Something, someone is calling out from the heart of the world, like a voice from a dream. Something dark is coming, Anduin. The world needs your light again.
Wasn't AI generated, mate. This was not AI generated.
I am not that person anymore.
Part of me wants to say it's mocap with
I have no light.
Unreal, but it's beyond that.
Not after what I've seen.
The textures and everything are just
Not after
beyond
what
what
I've
that's got.
done.
This is a lot of render time. It's fucking flawless. And one of the things that I find really important with this is how the stability of a friend can help you. Pay close attention to Anduin's sword. And the fact that Thrall's willing to accept that he could die in this situation to stabilize essentially his friend. But watch what happens to the sword.
Your past, Anduin.
Wobbling all over the place. Rock solid.
I trust you.
And that's all it needed. Rock solid.
Hear me.
They're getting worse.
Yes, smooth. The last 3 cinematics, you get that feeling from the
Whatever's
faces.
coming. I'll stand with you. Of course I will. But we were drawn here by the voice. Who is it, Thrall? Who's calling out to us?
I'm not sure yet. But that sword was aimed at someone.
Right, Sword of Sagiris. So in the fall of the Legion, or is it Burning Crusade? Burning Legion, that sword comes about. And it's a big fucking sword. Now I'm just going to take you back in the cinematic. I want to take you back in the cinematic.
You needed time. We stayed away.
I think I can...
But time by itself heals.
You can see the sword in his eye. The fucking detail. They could have been lazy and not added that in. You see it probably again here. You see the sword. You see it in the Legion cinematic? Yeah, you do. Absolutely unreal to have that level of detail. Fucking unreal, man. Absolute fucking unreal. And the thing is that the whole cinematic was just fucking obscene. And as soon as you could hear the change in the music,
was aimed at someone.
correct. And the thing is, we never knew why the sword had just appeared. Tommy, here you go for stabbing. Oh, nice. Thank you. That makes my life easier. That makes my life easier, mate. Stand by. Let me just pull it up. So, Argus. Argus the Unmaker. Right, let's throw this in.
You have done well, mortals.
It is time.
We
Freya.
must gather our strength.
Was that Freya?
Return home, children of Azeroth. Illidan, we've done all we can.
So Illidan actually basically tries to go back to being good.
Sacrifice has led me to this.
And the interesting thing is, the reason why he's a demon
Face him.
was actually because he was trying to do good, but he overstepped the mark and basically killed a load of people to turn into a demon to get stronger and beat the enemy.
Hunter is nothing without the hunt. Did you not see?
Oh
his
shit, it's the
face?
Eonar. Yeah, of course it was Trace.
Fate. Our survival was never in fate's hands. Light be with you, Illidan Stormwraith. Brother, your crusade is over.
No, I don't think so. He's like, get fucked. I mean, look at him compared to the size of the planet. Yep. Indeed. Indeed. Yeah, Tracy, it was. It really was. So they tried using very similar music. Right, thank you guys for joining me this evening. Now I'm going to be back in just under an hour to start the new expansion. So I'll probably go live probably 10 minutes before, just so that we can hit the ground running in terms of quest lines. So I'll be back in 50 minutes. Thank you very much indeed for watching the cinematics with me today. Which is your favorite? Shout out in chat. Which one was your favorite out of those? For me, I would actually say Battle for Azeroth was definitely one of my favorites. But Wrath of the Lich King has always got the special place. Tommy, was Daughter of the Sea a WoW thing? And what was it about? Daughter of the Sea. Hold on a minute. That was great content. Oh, yeah. Daughter of the Sea. You're talking about Jaina, aren't you? Yeah, I'll bring it up for you. Because that was the Warbringer's short with Jaina. So they do their cinematics. They do their in-between kind of like animations. So they've done animation. I didn't want to go into some of it because there's a fucking shitload of them. For example, when they burn Teldrassil, I think Tracy's found it for me already. Tracy's gushing as much as I am. Yeah, it's Warbringers on Jaina. Let's bring it up. Let's play this for you, and then we're going to call it. And then I'm going to go for a wee bathroom break and all that good stuff. And we'll explain everything that's going on. Order yourself some pepperoni dough balls before it gets too late. Oh, mate.
Beware, beware.
So this was basically about Theramore Isle and how Jaina had a small part in the death of her father, but Theramore was fucked.
Carried upon the ocean breeze as he sank beneath the tide.
Chilling, man.
Those blood-soaked shores.
Because Jaina, essentially, the Horde went to Theramore, Jaina stood to the side, and basically they just killed her dad. So this song was all about that.
The admiral fell at Theramore
Cheers, brother.
because she left his side.
There you go. Because she left his side, and he died. It was a good boss fight, I will say. But it's good to see you, Yanni. And thank you very much indeed, guys, for joining me with the cinematics. We're going to do more cinematics from other games. I definitely want to do League of Legends because I love some of the League of Legends stuff. Love them.
I'm listening now.
Too late.
Father. I heard across a moonlit sea the old voice warning me. Beware, beware, the daughter of the sea. Beware, beware of me.
Oh, yes. Definitely, she was a fucking force to be reckoned with. I want to just show you. Right, I'm gonna show you one cinematic from League of Legends, and this is one of my favorite from League of Legends. Just to give you some kind of like comparison between the two, just so that we know it's not just Blizzard that can do god tier cinematics for games. This one's The Call. And this was one from the 2022 season. It's just fucking... Let's get into this one, and then we can definitely call it. Worm.
To the fallen, leave me to be with the broken one last time before I go.
And I'll break this one down when we do the League of Legends stuff. I'll take you through it. All the characters and everything. And the oddity is I've never played the game, but I love the cinematics. And they are actually doing an MMORPG. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, Bill, very. Think of a mix of Final Fantasy and World of Warcraft. Pantheon. Oh, mate. Yeah, it's been in the works for quite a while, Trace. I'm quite surprised it's not out next year. Fuck yeah! I mean, look. This is God tier. David Morris, thank you for joining me. We're going to be calling it in a second because we've done all the cinematics. We've actually moved on to one example from League of Legends just to show God tier levels of cinematics. And the music is fantastic. I fucking love it. I can watch these all day long. Cinematics for games is how I hook into games. It's the music, the visuals. Fucking phenomenal. It looks like Beardo so much. Lock it in, yay! It's like, fuck yeah!
For the glory and the fall.
Right, let's call it. Let's call it there. Thank you very much indeed for joining me. I'll be back in probably just over 30 minutes now for the expansion, The War Within. Join me then, and I'll see you in a bit. Ciao for now, guys. Ciao for now.